Hello and welcome to episode 29 of our Timberborn Update 6 Wonders of Water playthrough here with the Iron Teeth faction in Cycle 49, Day 5. Last time, we expanded our, well, everything production in terms of food and relocated our pine resin production. And if we peel back the layers here, planted a whole bunch of crops down here. Now, I don't know that this is going to be how this stays, but it's what we have to work with, and it's what we're going to be rolling with for right now. Today's goal is to hopefully get a better idea of what a successful farming area looks like, probably plant some more stuff, reorganize some things, and solve a whole bunch of little problems. So we're going to go and jump right in. And if you remember last episode, I talked about putting stuff over the top of the mangroves here. So we are going to be doing that. We're going to be blasting down a single dynamite right here, just along this entire front edge. And we're going to be putting in these overhangs here. I don't know exactly how deep they're going to go. Probably going to make sense for it to just be maybe a 3x1 or even a 2x1. Because I want to have hauling posts, builders' huts, and all that moved over so that we can more efficiently use the actual arable land. And my intention here is to put a path going all the way across here and connect that so that we can have this area opened up a little bit more. And there's some other stuff we want to do as well. Getting, for example, this fully finished, putting bridges where they're supposed to go, improving connectivity, because right now we don't really have a great way of getting water from these pumps over here, because this doesn't connect, because of course you can't put a path on top of an irrigation barrier. So you might say, oh, well, they can just come around the back. Don't forget, this is no longer passable. So the back is just kind of a loop thing. Best thing that they can do right now to get the water in is to just come around here, which does not connect currently. So they have to go all the way down and then all the way up, and then no, we're going to fix that. So the easiest thing to do is going to be to just take this suspension bridge out. Now that this is pretty much good to go, so I'm going to take our demolish buildings tool here, and I'm going to get rid of all of that, but not the bottom one. Not the bottom one, because, you know, it's going to leak something serious. We did that way. Got some funky waves happening in the reservoir here as a result of that. But fortunately, we have the ability to come in here with our 6x1 bridge. And then this guy, if I've done this correctly, take the little path bit off here. And yeah, there you go. They meet right in the middle, perfectly, just like we intended. And that's going to give us a, well, not a direct link, but a more direct link from our water pumping area over to the main spot. Because, as a number of you have noted, the water situation is a little bit tenuous. So we want to try and make that a little bit better. Let's go ahead and demolish this as well. Okay, so now we have the top of this natural overhang here. Since these are 3x1s, and the buildings we're going to be putting down are 2x3 buildings, I think it's going to make sense. Just want to try this real quick. Okay, good. This will connect sideways no matter which way we do it. So I think this is going to make sense to put this in like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a hauling post and then a builder's hut. And then we'll keep bringing this over this way, just all the way across. Yeah, you know what? We're probably fine. The plank situation is going to become a little bit better once I turn the rest of these back on. Gear-wise, I think we're probably still fine with what we have. And our goal here is to have all of the, well, maybe not all of the builders' huts replaced, because we're probably not doing any more giant building projects in this playthrough. So I think for right now, just hauling post there, hauling post there. I would like to keep this open in case we want to put something there. But hauling post, builder's hut, etc. I want to make sure that I've got, oh, there you go. That's going to be nauseating to look at. I want to make sure I've got farmhouses. Because we have, I mean, we have one here, one here, one here. And for the amount of crops that are growing, it might be enough, technically, but we're going to want more. So if I can get away with putting in, just for the sake of symmetry, one here, then I've got space 6 wide in the middle. I don't think I'm going to need more than 5 farmhouses, to be perfectly honest with you, to take care of all of this, especially once everything gets settled in. I know these numbers are looking real rough, but it is going to get better. I'm going to leave these 6 in the middle open just in case I have to put in additional farmhouses. But what we do want to do is bring that out this way. And then I think what we can do is we can blast this down 1 level here. And that should, in theory, allow them to do that. And then I'm going to bring this path all the way up. And we'll put a staircase or something right here. But like I said, there's a bunch of stuff that we need to do to make things look a little bit better. Obviously, we don't need these power shafts here, and I'm pretty sure we won't ever need them. I'm thinking the flywheels here are going to be sufficient, and if not, we can always just add another layer on top of them. If you take a look at this... Ooh, you know what? That's actually not going to fit there. Huh, okay. Well, duly noted. It's going to be something to think about. But, consider this. I know this isn't going to line up exactly, but this is a 5x5 building. We could build the what do you call it? See, there you go. That's your scientific term. The water pumps directly on top of these, and it would be perfectly fine. So long as we have an ability to get everything all situated exactly the way we want to have it. That's some food for thought right there. Speaking of water pumps, yes, this deep water pump has its straw blocked by the sluice gates, so it is not going to be possible for this to exist and work correctly. So I'm just going to pause it for right now, because I think we may be able to, depending on how we want to do this, may be able to slightly rework these to be staggered a little bit, so that we're going to have the ability to get everything in here correctly, especially if we have to have more water pumps, but I don't think we do. I think where we are now is probably fine for those. So we'll let them continue to work on what they're working on, get this stuff built up, and yeah, we'll leave those guys to it. Another thing that we haven't done is we haven't put the other overhang in on the other side so we can have, wow, the second tribute to ingenuity. And I don't think we really have the materials to do that right now, but we can go ahead and start that process. Now remember, how we have this set up here is pretty straightforward. We're using our 4x1s just like so, and then we have to have our power come out on this side. I have it coming down onto another set of these 2x1 overhangs. And there isn't anything on top of this. We probably could do that if we really felt like it, but I don't think we're going to need to. If we did, though, then we could put a shrub, at least in this middle bit. Again, we don't really need to, but it's an option that is there for the future. Yes, autosave lag. Not nearly as bad as water beavers, but it's definitely there. So again, we just want to make sure that we are putting in all the pieces necessary for us to have a successful installation of our wonder here. Speaking of the wonder, the actual wonder, the Earth repopulator, that's going to become a focus in, I guess probably the next episode, for episode 30 would make sense. We're going to need to find a place to put that, and we're going to need to start accumulating a whole lot of resources, especially gears and treated planks. So those will get turned on and all that, but there's quite a lot of stuff we still have to do before we get there. And despite having... Okay, well, we've got a lot less logs now because I'm actually building stuff. But we've got some work cut out for us to get this taken care of, and I don't think everything is as peachy as we think it is. For example, lumberjack flags. I don't think we actually have one that can reach this, and a couple of you guys caught on to that. So if we click on this guy, yeah, they can't reach this whatsoever. So we're going to be in a situation pretty quick where that's going to be a problem. But we can fix it. We can fix anything. Go ahead and... I guess I could just leave that guy there. Let's check and see. Is this going to... Yeah, see, that's not going to let me do it. But I could do this. But, yeah, no, you know what? We'll just do that. We'll put a lumberjack flag there. That guy will be able to reach a lot of this stuff. Not everything, but a lot of it. And hey, look what I see right here. I see an opportunity to put a lumberjack flag and take care of cutting all these trees down, straighten this out. Now keep in mind, we still have a whole lot of terraforming left to do that we haven't gotten around to yet. And we're going to have to be cognizant of that. This forester, I'm going to go ahead and remove. And we're going to start bringing in all the extra land here. Because my goal is to have everything line up a whole lot nicer here. Like right here, this is going to just be straight all the way through. And then, of course, we will put the forester back in, but we have to have a little bit better of an idea what's actually happening here. This oak seedling, it's got a little bit of time left. These are dead ones, so that's fine. Assuming I can just... There we go. Yeah, we've got to get all the rest of this land popped in here. And it's going to be a process, right? Something that's going to take us a little bit of time. But I think we're going to be okay. So long as we don't lose sight of what we're actually doing and don't get distracted. Oh, yeah, like right here where this wasn't connected. We did this a couple episodes ago. Let's go ahead and fix this. We just have to decide how this is going to end up going. I think the thing that's going to make the most sense is for us to just put in right like this. So it goes over the contamination barriers that aren't actually really doing much of anything. But it's fine. We're going to redo a lot of this area anyway. This platform here, just to remind you, is here to remind me... to remind you is here to remind me. There you go. Fantastic English language. Only available here. This ladder is going to be duplicated on this side. Once all of this moves, we just have to figure out how that's going to get set up. I don't think it's going to be hard. We just have to do it. And I think, based on how this is set up here, I'm pretty sure I can go ahead and... Yeah, I can go ahead and blast this down. And then I can replace these hydroponic gardens, these 6, maybe add a couple more. Because, look, our food situation is becoming slightly less ideal as our population grows and we've reconfigured a whole bunch of stuff. We will probably need to have more of these. The raw storage for algae and mushrooms here, keep in mind that we do have raw storage for mushrooms and raw storage for algae over here, where it's actually being produced. So this isn't that big of a deal. We're just going to have to check and see what the actual rate of production is on this. See, this guy's finished, so I'm going to pause him. I'm going to let these guys do what they're going to do. Remove this water tank, because we are going to have to start getting in to the rest of this pretty soon here. But hopefully you can see this platform, this ladder right here is going to end up being perfect to connect to this. We'll just have this go stacked up like the rest of this stuff is. 57, 77, 78, 78, and this one on the bottom was, click please, thank you, 23. So, hopefully I'm going to remember to, you know, mess with that, because if not, it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. That's fine. Alright, forester here. If I place this here, it actually has a very robust reach, even behind itself, so I think that's going to be fine. That's about what I wanted it to be anyway. oak trees here. Somebody left a comment asking if it would be smarter to put in other types of trees because we've had so many problems with supply and demand surges alternating for this. Well, I'm going to say no because we weren't even cutting most of the trees we've been planted. So that's just one of those things we're going to have to see how it pans out. But I think it's probably going to be fine. Should be a-okay. This one is ready to go. This one probably doesn't have anywhere to put stuff. But as they get consumed to make additional fermented mushrooms, then this will be emptied. And especially if we're pausing the production of more mushrooms, that's going to become a much easier thing to keep track of. Alright, so it looks like this is all ready to go, which means this hauling post can go away. And going to check and make sure these are all set to 10, which they were not, but now they are. I'm never going to have to worry about job prioritization ever again because we have so many beavers who aren't even working, so that's fine. Blast this out. Alright, and then that gets some stairs. And then there you go. So, the other thing about this that some of you have said is that I don't have enough gatherer flags, and you are probably correct. But, here's the problem, is that currently, I don't have a way to get any other staircase down into this mangrove area. Because the problem is, to get rid of the tree, it has to be marked for demolition, and then from that point it has to be within a certain distance of a path. And this tile here is the only path inside the whole thing. So I would have to instead, I'm pretty sure, send a lumberjack down in there to cut a specific tree down. But the range on that, as you can see, is really not good. So we're gonna find ourselves in a problem here. While this guy can reach everything, it's going to be mostly focused around this area here. So it probably would be to substantial benefit to have additional gatherer flags. But I don't know about another entrance point. We'd have to fundamentally rework this entire thing. So instead, I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and... yeah, because I'm not going to need this many trees anyway. Nope, that's the wrong button. I'm going to get rid of these three, and then I'm going to have, I think, this forester removed because, well, we don't need to plant any more trees ever again because we're not cutting these down here. So if the forester gets removed, then we have an opportunity. These are all planted, I did check. We have an opportunity to put in several gatherer flags right here, right next to what we've got going on. And hopefully, I actually didn't need to remove these two, but I guess now we are anyway. Get this in like so. Yeah. So that'll give me 4 gatherer flags, all of whom can reach almost all the trees. So this guy here can, in fact, reach all the trees. So these front two can, and there's 4 of them. So I think it's going to be very unlikely that these ones in the back will be left with fruit hanging on them for a long time. And now I've got the space right here to put something else in because I decided it would be smart to just demolish, erroneously, some extra trees. And I don't have another thing to pop in here. So for right now, I think we're just going to leave that alone. But to help us eventually get more stuff in, I'm going to unmark these 3 pine trees. And then over time, they'll spawn saplings here, and then that'll grow up. Because if you have them marked for planting, they're never going to drop saplings. I don't really know how it works, but that is what the game decides to do. So now it's kind of the time where we have to just wait and see what the long-term effects of our current farm layout are going to be. And I'm not going to sit here and say that this is a perfect setup. but I don't think it's really that bad. Obviously, the cassavas probably could use some help. These are all... Oh, okay, now we're underground. These are all growing, so we probably should plant some more of those. But I think we might be okay once everything kind of equals out. But at the same time, this is for 224 beavers, and we want to have 500. So, that being said, I don't think it's going to be a bad choice to go ahead and start planting other stuff, especially since we have these guys here. So, again, cassava is our biggest area of need. So, actually, soybeans. Soybeans probably could use some help, too. Canola really seems like it's struggling here. So we've got our work cut out for us in that regard. I'm going to go ahead, remove this farmhouse, and we're going to do a thing here. We're going to do a thing. We're going to have... Oh, you know what? You know what? This is... I wish I could get away with it. I was thinking, oh, I could just get rid of these levees here and have the ladders go all the way down. But no, there's a little thing called a metal platform 5x5 that's going to be in the way of that one. So, instead, what we'll do... Go ahead and pause this so I don't accidentally commit crimes. We're going to have this come up all the way here. And that's going to give us an easy access from here to down here, and then other parts of the map for water instead of just going all the way around. But that's also going to give me the opportunity, because of how I put the ladders in, to have our farmhouse come in right like so, and then I can plant 2 more pieces of canola right there. This path, I'm not really super in love with being here, but it's fine. The way this is set up is okay. So, seeing this, I believe canola is going to be best served to just have an extra bit to grow right there. And then cassava, again, there's not really any rhyme or reason to how I'm trying to do this. It's just a little bit of experimentation. More cassava. Maybe I'll do another row of this. And then I've got this extra space here, which, according to this, probably would make sense to have some soybeans all the way across. Get those numbers up. And then over here, we've got all sorts of fun to play with. Let's take this down. So this gatherer flag is in a very bad location, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of it. And we've got to find somewhere else for it to go. And I had said previously that this was going to be a place that we could demolish a little bit. And I believe that to be true. Let's go ahead. Think about how we want this to be situated. Are we going to get a bad tide or are we going to get a drought? So no warning? Alright. That gives me time. Let's get rid of this irrigation barrier. Start blasting down here. And then we also need to blast this out, because this already has irrigation barriers, and that's going to be fine. But we're going to have to do some shenanigans here in a little bit. Demolish that. We got this storage for berries right here that we probably don't need to have. Do I have a berry storage? I do. It's full. Okay. So this now gets to be emptied. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oh, good. Well, that one could just get removed. And removed. And removed. And removed. And 8%. Congratulations, removed. And this one right here is 94%. So we'll let that go for a little while longer. But this is about the time for us to go ahead and get this reconfigured anyway. Oh, accidentally deleted the rebel. Oh no. The world is ending. Oh, that actually might cause a problem to have that set up like that. Alright. Triple dynamites there. Ladder construction's continuing nicely. Hopefully this takes care of most of our food issues, because stuff has lagged substantially. I'm not saying it's going to, but we can make some adjustments if we have to. Keep in mind, this space here is also going to be radically, well, changed, revamped, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to have some space to grow stuff over there. This area over here, I hope, is not going to have pollution problems. But just to be safe, put an irrigation barrier there, and then up here as well. Again, I don't know that that's actually going to do anything, but we've got to try. So this space here in this corner, you might notice that we are still technically not out of coffee beans. Oh, good, it's a drought. Perfect. Oh, this isn't connected anymore. We've got to fix that. I'm going to put in some coffee beans over here. Berries-wise, we still seem to be in very good shape. This amount of breeding pots right here probably isn't enough, but I haven't figured out a solution to that yet. So that's going to be something for us to mess with in a little bit. Get those out of there. That is going to contaminate the ground a little bit more, I think, but it's probably okay. This needs to have a lumberjack flag on it. There we go. And, of course, we have to continue putting all of our land in. So I guess I'll just do one of these numbers. Hopefully nobody gets silly-billied in there. Okay, that's at 0%, so that's going to be removed. This is ready to go. Alright, 79 mushrooms. Excuse me, mushrooms on the ground. Not going to cry about it. So all we got to do now is get our new hydroponic gardens in place. So nice and easy. Go ahead and put in. We got 14. Got 14 of those things. So one stack is going to be for mushrooms. One stack is going to be for algae. I don't think we're really ever going to need this much, but I think it's going to be fine. We can always change stuff around if we feel so inclined. But I'd much rather have way too much and not need it than to be the other way around. Hopefully you can understand my train of thought there. So of course, we'll just put all of these platforms in. I wonder if I should make a ladder here and a ladder here. Maybe not. I think it's going to be fine. Not going to worry about it. And then, of course, this here. And then this here can easily get replaced. Move this to the front because it kind of has to be there. So, is it perfectly symmetrical side to side? No, but it's going to make it a whole lot easier for us to actually get this accomplished. That's always a win. You'll notice that even though it's really imbalanced right now, the food is still way higher than it needs to be for us to be in a safe and secure area there. So that's fine. I need to plant these coffee beans. So, probably don't need to have this many coffee beans. We still have some we haven't used yet. We've got full 2,400 stock of coffee, so... You know, I kind of think like I don't need to have that many coffee beans. So I'm going to start out, I think, with this, because I originally only had a handful of them. Start out with those as coffee beans. And then here, let's try something. Can I put a gather flag here and have it actually reach everything? Very hard to see. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. That is a very happy solution to that problem. So I think now pretty much all we can do is really wait to see exactly what's going to end up happening here. But we've made some good improvements. And while we don't need to have these many builder's huts here, I think it's probably fine. How much dirt do I have? Okay, it's basically just completely filling up all of the storage for that. That's okay. And this guy has nothing to do as a lumberjack because there's no trees planted here. Well, that's going to fix itself soon enough as soon as I replace this mess, which probably should be done sooner rather than later, and it's about to be a drought, so that might cause problems. But these trees will last a long while without being watered here. This is probably fine. And this forester probably isn't going to have to be here once all of the land is put in place. This guy probably could handle most of this, especially at the speed that the oak trees get replaced. So, I'm going to go ahead and just do it. These guys, as regular platforms, are... I mean, they're probably okay to just leave like this, but I'm going to go ahead and collect all of the debris here. Actually, no, I don't have to collect all the debris, because I'm going to have this be a double platform anyway. So I just have to decide how I'm going to put this in here, and I think it's probably fine. Probably fine just like that. Pop in a fluid dump, and then if this guy doesn't have anything else to do over here, then I'm going to let him get on out of the way, because I've got to get this ladder out of here. So I've got the room to bring the land up. So get this entire mess removed. And I guess I probably should just start by enclosing around this so we don't have any issues. And we can continue putting all of our mess in here. So once these are all put in place, then I can put this piece of terrain there, and then I can build the path, and then I can remove the ladder that goes down. Although, there, you know, there's not really a reason to do that. Maybe I'll just leave it in place, who knows. That's going to require a little bit of monitoring. These are growing again. Water is up to 4,000. We don't have a ton of logs. Am I still running my... Okay, we need to pause these engines. That'll help. Okay, 8-day drought, so no power. Fortunately, we've got a lot of power stored in these flywheels. I'm very hopeful that we won't have to worry about running out of it. But we probably could stand to put in another couple of these things here. I guess we'll just have to see how that's going to go. But I do like the idea of them hiding under these overhangs. If we had the materials to build them, that would be great. Hey, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put in a forester over here. So of course they can't plant the coffee bushes if there's no forester for them to do that with. Alright, so that's looking good. They can't reach this, I don't think so. Let's go ahead and just put this one terrain block here. And then I can actually have my pathing go in. And you know what? I might as well just have this connect right like so. I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. Alright, so now that they can't actually access the danger zone here, I'm going to feel perfectly fine about getting all of this put in place. And they can start filling this fluid dump up again, and we're going to be in really, really good shape. Cool, cool, cool. Also got some comments about the path layout not really making that much sense in some areas, and I don't really know that there's an easy way to fix that. But we're going to do our best. We're going to see what happens. I don't know what I'm doing about advanced breeding pods, though. It's going to be a challenge. So, barring some sort of other solution that I'm going to come up with later, I think the easiest thing to do is going to be to just start building them in other spots. Like you see, we have right here, you got this bit of land, and I don't think I'm going to have overhangs on top of it. I might want them later, though. So, do I have... I do. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. For the sake of what we're attempting to accomplish here, I think this is going to make sense to do. We're going to blast this down, and then I'm going to put the overhangs on top of it, and then on top of those, we can put in the what do you call it? The breeding pods. Because I think to get 500 beavers, we're already at 48. I'm not going to get that much more of a lifetime boost. I'm probably going to need to double the amount of these pods I've got, which, you know, could be famous last words. I seem to be very good at that after all, but let's see if I've got 3 here. Because I don't necessarily need to have this match, but I could if I use the 6x. That would, oh, you know what? That would be so symmetrical, it would actually be really nice. Okay. Alright. Well, I mean, we can come back and do other stuff later if we really feel like it, but I think that might end up actually being a good way to do it. We could raise the land on this side if we wanted to, or we could just completely take it all the way down like I did over here, which, nope. Considering how this is currently looking, I think that might be a smart thing to do. That would help our multi-tiered design look a little bit better at least, and this is so empty it doesn't matter. That's done. This guy on the overhang can go away. I think that's going to be the ticket, folks. How high is this? Okay, so that's going to be fine to just do all these as a 3. And then they can come in from underneath to take care of that. So what that does mean is that this land here is probably going to stay, or it can be raised, which probably is the smarter thing to do anyway. And yeah, these are going to have to go, these lumberjack flags. And then for the sake of what we're dealing with here, I think raising this up too is not going to hurt anything. But I'm very paranoid about the bad water stuff. So, I mean, I guess that's probably fine. Plus it looks nice. Looks like we've actually kind of contained it here. So just some stuff to think about. Have they planted the things? Okay, good. So we've got coffee bushes. I don't have a reason yet to get rid of these. These being the forester, so I guess we're going to kind of leave that alone. Kohlrabies, I'm not really that worried about not having them, but at the same time we need to make sure that the beavers can all eat. So I think what might have to happen is I might have to get rid of some of these berries. We don't need that many berries anyway. I'm going to get rid of some of those berries right here and replace them with kohlrabies, because we do have the farmhouse right here that can easily reach all of that. And I think that's probably fine. Can they not reach this? No, they can't. They just haven't done it yet. All right. All right, so that'll give us a little bit more help. I'm really, really not worried about the mangrove fruits at this point because, I mean, look at this. It's completely insane. But the numbers on most of the stuff are still looking really good. Cassavas are going to improve in time as this grows back in. Hopefully our canola and canola oil situation improves as well. But it should. It should. And we have ways of getting that to be better anyway. So we're going to go ahead and detonate these dynamites. And then this bit will go as well. Yeah, you know, that doesn't look terrible. And then I guess we will end up raising this just so this matches. And what that's going to do is that's going to give us some extra space, and not necessarily for well-being stuff, but like I was saying, for like advanced breeding pods here and here. These 6 probably will do most of what we need to get done. So that's fine there. And then I've got space here. I think I said last time I was going to try and put campfires in. But campfires aren't really going to fit. perfectly here at least. Maybe I was thinking about something else, but I've got space here, and again, this is not really lining up that well. But if I put a campfire here and I put a campfire here, then that's symmetrical here. It's not symmetrical to the output, but I could get 3 of those in, and then this actually doesn't look too bad. But I don't have any other buildings I can put in here that aren't powered, unless I were to do detailers. But speaking of, these things have been paused for a while, and a couple of you left comments about, well, what are you doing with the detailers? You just have them sitting there. So very, very soon, those beavers will be able to plaster my face on them. So enjoy that nightmare fuel, and we'll continue doing what we are doing here. Because of how this is set up, I think what's going to make the most sense long term is to raise this, and then on top of this we can put in a campfire and do the same thing over here. But I'm going to go ahead and blast this corner out because then it can match. And then we're going to have space over here to grow some more trees. And you know what? Maybe that's what can go here is a forester, because I did remove the other guy. And that, you know what, actually kind of reaches over to the other side. If I flip the doorway, then it reaches very nicely to the other side if we wanted to use that to grow stuff. I just don't know that it's really that big of a deal. But I will go ahead and put it in there because this is space that we can use. And we are otherwise not currently using. Well, this is all still connected, so I'm not going to be worried about getting rid of this when they put in the land there, but we have to have the land to do it. And there is no power input whatsoever. We already out of power? No, but we are not looking good. Not looking good, folks. There we go. So it seems like it would be prudent for us to pause the wind tunnels. Although the beavers just fall down when you do that. But we'll pause all this stuff that consumes a whole lot of power and reevaluate our... yeah, so now the demand's 5,300. So that's going to be good for, what, 10 hours? I got 400 coming in. Wait, where's that 400 coming in from? Do I have an engine running that I forgot about? Oh, okay, well, I mean, sure, I guess. But I got to pause it because we don't have the wood to run it anyway. So these guys are supposed to be harvesting wood. It's just a slow process. But all of this land going in is, well, it's going in. And this guy seems like he's going to be able to keep all of it planted. So just try to keep this as ready to go as we can. And then I guess at some point I've got to decide how this is actually going to be set up. And I do really like the idea of the symmetry. So maybe this right here and that right there is going to make the most sense to just keep this as it is, bring that up, because then I can at the very least have one more of these campfires over here. So we're going to need a lot of those things. We need 500 beavers. That's going to be fine. If you are of the belief that this is a dumb and wasteful thing to do, then that's okay. Glad you're here anyhow. But the water situation looks to be mostly solved. The power situation, unfortunately, is not. So I do think we're going to need to put in some additional flywheels, and I'd like to keep them in the same general pattern. This, obviously, is not going to allow me to build anything here because we have our little, what do you call it there? But I can put a couple of them here and here, and then just bridge across as necessary. So why don't we start that process? You know they can, I think they can build this. They should be able to. Nope, never mind. So that's going to be a fun thing to figure out. Because I know they can build, they can build this thing because of where they are, but that's not going to, not going to play nice, is it? Well, I don't have to space them apart that much if they're just going to be stuck back there, but I don't know, because, like, obviously I can just butt them up like this. But that's not going to end up looking very nice if we end up looking at it. But at the same time, you know, we kind of don't need to look at it ever, so that's just something to think about. But if I have it like this, then I can stack them. I can't stack them like this. So that's like, hopefully you can understand and appreciate the position in which I found myself with regard to the flywheels. So I didn't plan it like this. It just ended up working out, and then I thought that was cool, and now it's kind of an obstacle. But we're gonna be okay. I was acting like it wasn't irrigated, but I guess it is. Hopefully this is improving things. I guess might as well just go ahead and hook this up as well, all the way across. Everybody taking their sweet time. Oh, they can't reach this. Okay, well, I know how to fix that problem. There you go. Put that suspension bridge in, and then just drop the explosives from above, and then it'll flatten the land for you. Oh, you know what I should have done before I did this? Oh, well, I can still do it over here. I should blast this down, then blast this down, because I really don't need to have this set up like this. I also probably should just stop thinking about it, honestly. But it is what it is, what it's going to be, so on and so forth. Yeah, this guy can reach the entire thing, as long as he can keep everything planted, which a 30-day growth cycle tree is probably fine. Then we're going to be okay. This obviously is going to move. This right here is probably a good spot until I mess with the terrain to put a couple more lumberjack flags just so we have those available. And then we'll just have to wait for the wood to come in. But if we need emergency wood, which, you know, I'm not really convinced we do, we could cut these pine trees down. It's not going to be a big loss. I'm gonna actually get this one first. Oh, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Oh well, life goes on. It's gonna be a double, which they probably can't reach. Oh, no, they super can. Alright, that's fine. So I didn't really need to worry about it at all, did I? And I think when this is demolished, I'm not going to have any problems because we have the irrigation barrier here. But I guess we'll find out, won't we? Nice. Alright, cool. So that's going to give us a couple more trees to plant. Nice and easy. And this isn't going to allow anything here anyway. So get that out of there. Blast this down in our quest to make this stupid thing look slightly better for not really any reason. Okay, so that's there. That's there. Then this is, I guess going to be here. So we can prepare for that. This is already cut off, so that's fine. We're just going ahead to build this, so we don't have to worry about it later. And then that's probably going to be all she wrote for this section for a while until that gets taken care of. Alright, we got 1 day left. Have these stopped turning? Just about. Just barely caught the end. Alright, so there's 0.8 of a day where there is no power whatsoever. And that is very, very, very clear evidence that we need to do something about our framed flywheel situation. Yeah, I can't add another one on top of either of these, but I can, if we really want to, put one on top of here, which I could then build pumps on top of. But the main problem is this is going to be sticking out of the water, so it's going to be kind of ugly, which I know like 99% of people are really not going to care about, and that's just the way it is. But I know I can build this, not be a problem. The problem is getting that connection between this large horizontal junction and then the other one that we'd have to construct on top of this because I don't have a pathway down here. We do, however, have the ability to just build a ladder into this nonsense like we did over here and then just send them on up. But I think all I've got to do technically is to come in, let's say, here. And this is going to cut this off a little bit, but I think it's going to be worth it for at least a little bit of time, as long as we don't leave it like this. Do one of these numbers, and then I can put this back in right here with a power shaft. And then we won't need to worry about another one over here. But so long as I can get them close enough to here to do that, I think we're going to be in good shape. So cycle 50 begins. Get this constructed immediately. Just as soon as they have logs to do it. Wait a second, how did they build this? How did they start doing this without access to... Okay, there it goes. That's just very strange. But they're going to take care of that nice and easy. So that's how much water gets pumped out of this entire thing during an 8-day drought, and it's still not down at the bottom of the straws. So I think we're okay. I think we're in good shape. My main concern now is just getting this situated once this ladder is in place, so that eventually, when we have the materials, we can come back in and build what we want to be building, or another set of flywheels. Again, we cannot do anything about this. This is just... It is where it is, and I can't really move it. So, most we'll be able to do is put 4 of these things here again. And if we really wanted to, we could put another 4 here. Or another 6 here, actually, because there's not that thing in the way. But I'm thinking that's going to be just fine. So now we just need to get them to come in here and do that. Take care of the rest of our explosions over here. So that's going to get the 2. That's already ready to go. And then I guess we just have to decide what our terracing is going to look like. And all of that fun stuff. So, the last thing we really need to figure out is where in the world is the Earth repopulator going? Now, I personally think it would be super cool, first of all, if this was not 7x7, so it could be perfectly centered in the middle of this, but I think it would be kind of neat to try and put it up here. So, just for the sake of argument, say you got that right there. You got a 5x5 on top of that. And then you got this thing. It doesn't fit because it's 7x7. Well, guess what? We got these things. So what if we did this? And then right in the middle, of course, we'd probably just end up putting that. But then on top of that guy. Why is it upsetting at me here? Oh, the corner pieces. Duh. Okay. Now, if this were to go here, one, that is hilariously spindly to put this giant thing on top of 2 little, or I guess 4 wooden pilings. If I put that there, when it fires, it might be a little too low. I might run into our beaver apartment building. We definitely don't want to do that. So, but if we were to do something in this general area, obviously this would need to be raised up 1 more level, I think. But what do you guys think about that? Do you think that would be a cool place to put it? It's roughly in the middle of the map, so it would cover pretty much every tile as far as I can tell. It's a 40 tile radius, and the only tiles it's not going to cover at that point are all the way over on the edge where the water pumping is occurring, and I don't think we really need to worry about that. This is I think a 100 by 50 map. So, I mean, if for us to actually have all of it is basically impossible. So here's probably about as good of a spot as I can think of. We just have to have the ability to get beavers into it, which means we're going to have some sort of ladder and bridge or overhang contraption to get across. But I think this is probably about the best spot we could possibly put it. If we really wanted to be like, you know, something really ridiculous, we could take this very end of the natural overhang here and put it there. Honestly, I kind of want to do that. I feel like that would be really funny. Oh yeah. Oh, that would be so stupid just because of where it would be. But let's mock that up. I actually want to see what that would look like. So if I no, I put a triple platform and a triple platform and then a 5x5. And then on top of that, one of these. And then put the regular platforms in the corner. And then do, oh, okay. And then do this. That is, you know, that's probably actually fine. It's just really funny. Like, think about, okay, I don't know a lot about engineering, but I do know enough that you don't ever do this. You don't ever put this kind of load on the very end of an overhang or a cantilever or anything like that. Like, you're asking for problems. However, this is Beaver engineering. It doesn't have to follow the same laws of physics that we do. So let me know your thoughts about this. I'm not going to place it yet, but I think this would be a hilarious place to put this. Just for literally no reason other than to just because we can. Which I guess kind of at this point is almost the unofficial channel motto. So I'm going to leave this here. Obviously, they can reach that. All right, well, we're going to pause it. But I'm going to leave that there just because of how funny it is. Let me know what you think in the comments about whether or not we should do that way. But for right now, it's just going to remain its own mess. So let's go ahead and unpause these, get that recreation going again, and hopefully, as we move into the next episode, our food supply will start to stabilize a little bit. I do see that we are not. We're not having any of the stuff that requires the canola oil. I always want to call it soybean oil. That's because we didn't have enough, so that's going to get fixed. And I think this is going to be a good spot to go ahead and stop for today. It is the beginning of cycle 50-ish. So, as always, appreciate you being here. Can't resist demolishing the dynamite as we come to the correct time to do that, but I am very thankful we get to spend this time together and enjoy the relative insanity of putting this fun playthrough together. And I hope that we can have a whole lot more fun with this one. Normally they end at episode 30, 35-ish. I think 35 is probably still a reasonable amount of time to expect this one to last, but I'm not opposed to keeping it going for a little bit longer if we still have some cool stuff to do, which I think we're not going to have any issue coming up with ideas for that. But as always, I appreciate your comments and your thoughts, and I'm just thankful that we get to do this. So appreciate you being here, Beard Boosters, as well, and making it possible to continue doing this, and the direct contributions, so on and so forth, that do genuinely help me out a whole lot more than you can ever know. So thank you very much for your support. We'll be back with this series again on Wednesday, and tomorrow, well, I don't know exactly what to call it yet, but it's going to be a new hard mode plus, I guess, playthrough with the Iron Teeth on the Lemon Canyon map we had for the water beavers, because a couple of you guys wanted to know what I could do with the map when I didn't have all the crazy restrictions to water beavers in place. So we're going to try something really, really, really hard, and hopefully I don't fall on my face, but whatever the result ends up being, it's going to be documented for you there. So look forward to that. That's all I got for today. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your time, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.